Throughout movie history, there have been some exciting gunslinger movies, and today I'm here to talk to you about my top 5 list of those movies. The fifth on my list is a movie called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This movie is particularly known for one of Clint Eastwood's early roles in Western movies. After a while, it has become something of a cult movie, and although it may not be the classic gunslinger movie, it is an exciting movie about a guy about to be hanged, but then he is saved at the last second. To be from 1966, the movie is quite exciting, and I would say it's ahead of its time in terms of when it was released. Number 4 on the list is a movie from 1969 called Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, a movie more in the style of the classic gunslinger style, with intense shootouts and a real feel of the Wild West. This movie won and most features strong performances by both Paul Newman and Robert Redford. It is also interesting the way they play in the humoristic tones as they make their way into Bolivia and don't really know any Spanish, which they have to do in order to rob banks. The movie is especially towards the end a tense affair, and it's one that entertains you in a lot of moments. At number 3, you find this movie from 1988 that features both Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, and Charlie Sheen, called Young Guns. It is a particularly intense movie where Bill the Kid and his gang, which you have heard countless stories about, gets chased all over. But a lot of his members and the kid himself manages to escape from the law. It is one of the most intense gunslinger movies I have seen, and many of the scenes really thrill you. The way they have cast these characters with Emilio Estevez as the kid and Kiefer Sutherland as the doc is particularly impressive. This movie is a movie that is very much for those of you that like typical gunslinger stories from the Wild West, where it is more about the action of guns rather than taking it into an emotional direction. Personally, for me, that is what I like. And it's also why it goes that high on my list. The second spot on my list goes to a movie called In a Valley of Violence. And it's a movie that features both Ethan Hawke and John Travolta. The latter one does his best role in years here, and it is terrific to see Travolta back into form. It's the classic gunslinger movie where a stranger walks into a town and people there are not exactly friendly against him. It is a highly violent movie that may have had a primitive motive of revenge, but in this movie, that concept really works better than in most similar movies. Ethan Hawke also gives his all into the role as this revengeful man that wants that sweet revenge at all costs. My number 1 movie in this segment, you got a fantastic movie with Bruce Willis in the leading role in the movie called Last Man Standing. And it's my favorite gunslinger movie for a lot of reasons. It is a highly violent, exciting, intense movie where also Christopher Walken shines in his role and is about this lead character, a gunslinger for hire that works with both sides in an ongoing war between the Irish and Italian mob. The gun shootouts are also extremely exciting, and the way this works as both a Western movie, gunslinger story, and an action movie as a hybrid Western action movie is simply pure artwork at times. Bruce Willis also does a star act in this one, and it's great to relive some of his best works. It is also one that shows that he is not all about Die Hard. This movie is particularly exciting if you love violence, guns, shootouts, and hardcore characters.